The United States has been one of the most influential actors in the Israel-Palestine conflict for over 7 decades. Its role has been shaped by history, politics, ideology, and strategic interests in the Middle East. From the very beginning, Washington's involvement was decisive. In 1948, when Israel declared its independence, the U.S. was the first country to recognize the new state. This recognition cemented a political and military partnership that would grow stronger with time. For Palestinians, however, this moment also symbolized abandonment, as their aspirations for statehood and self-determination were overshadowed by America's alignment with Israel. During the Cold War, U.S. support for Israel became intertwined with global power struggles. Israel was seen as a democratic ally in a region where many governments aligned with the Soviet Union. This made military and economic aid flow consistently to Israel, strengthening its defense forces, while Palestinians and Arab neighbors viewed the U.S. as biased and untrustworthy. The 1967 Six-Day War marked a turning point. Israel's occupation of the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem created the modern map of the conflict. The U.S. officially supported United Nations Resolution 242, calling for Israel's withdrawal from occupied territories in exchange for peace. But in practice, Washington continued to supply Israel with advanced weaponry and billions in aid, even as settlements expanded and Palestinian displacement deepened. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, American presidents positioned the U.S. as a mediator in the peace process. The 1978 Camp David Accords, brokered by President Jimmy Carter, brought peace between Israel and Egypt, the first between Israel and an Arab state. But for Palestinians, their struggle remained unresolved. The U.S. pushed for negotiations, yet consistently avoided holding Israel fully accountable for occupation policies. In 1993, the U.S. helped facilitate the Oslo Accords, a historic moment that gave Palestinians limited self-governance through the Palestinian Authority. Optimism spread worldwide, but cracks soon appeared. Settlement construction continued. Promises of a Palestinian state stalled. The U.S. was willing to broker talks, but unwilling to pressure Israel to make difficult concessions, such as on Jerusalem or refugees. The Second Intifada in the early 2000s deepened divisions. As violence escalated, the U.S. largely framed the conflict through the lens of counterterrorism, supporting Israel's security operations, while Palestinians experienced widespread suffering under military occupation and blockades. Over time, U.S. military aid became a cornerstone of its policy. Today, the U.S. provides Israel with around $3.8 billion in aid every year, the largest recipient of American foreign assistance. Much of this money supports Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system and advanced weaponry. Critics argue this aid makes the U.S. complicit in prolonging the conflict, as it strengthens Israel's military power without addressing Palestinian grievances. Diplomatically, U.S. policy has often involved blocking United Nations resolutions critical of Israel. Since 1972, America has used its veto power more than 40 times to shield Israel from international censure. This has further fueled Palestinian frustration and eroded trust in the U.S. as a fair mediator. In recent decades, U.S. domestic politics have also shaped its role. Pro-Israel lobbying groups, evangelical Christian support, and bipartisan consensus in Congress have reinforced a strongly pro-Israel stance. While some American leaders have expressed support for a two-state solution, concrete steps to bring it about remain limited. The Trump administration brought dramatic shifts, moving the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem in 2018, recognizing the city as Israel's capital. For Palestinians, this decision was seen as erasing their claim to East Jerusalem, a cornerstone of their national identity. At the same time, U.S. aid to Palestinians was drastically cut, weakening humanitarian programs in the West Bank and Gaza. The Biden administration has restored some aid and reaffirmed commitment to a two-state solution. But the U.S. continues to prioritize Israel's security above all else. This tension between America's role as a self-declared peace broker and its unwavering support for Israel remains the defining paradox of its involvement. For Palestinians, U.S. policy has often meant broken promises, unfulfilled hopes, and a peace process that seems endless. For Israelis, it has meant security guarantees, military strength, and global legitimacy. Ultimately, the U.S. role in the Israel-Palestine conflict is not just about foreign policy. It is about shaping the daily realities of millions of people. Every checkpoint, every airstrike, every settlement expansion is tied in some way to Washington's decisions. The question remains, will the U.S. ever shift from being Israel's greatest ally to becoming a true balanced mediator in the pursuit of lasting peace? If you want to understand more pivotal moments in history, subscribe and join us for the next story that shaped our world.